go on Papa 10, transmit a spot report with the Tactical Manpack radio, okay? So remember, you guys, when you guys come up on actual test day, what it'll be is the grader will read task condition standards. During those task condition standards, he's gonna give you the height and inches of your target. It'll also be written on your signal operation instruction sheet, but we will give it to you verbally. All right, you don't have to memorize it because again, it's on there, okay? After that, you'll have 3 questions and 3 questions only that you can ask us. He's gonna say, hey, do you have any questions? And 3 questions. May I take my eye pro and gloves off? May I put my weapon down? And number 3 is, may I rearrange the table to fit me? It'll look somewhat like this on actual test day. And remember, if you take your eye pro and gloves off, don't put anything on my table. If you put your weapon down, don't put it on my table or lean it up against my table. We will have a sandbag that you can lay it against and put your stuff there. Your eye pro and gloves, you can just put in your pocket or on your weapon, okay? Whichever works best for you, just whatever is on my table is for you guys only to get a go at this station, okay? Now, if you try to come here and be like, can I use my protractor? I'm gonna tell you, no, you're stupid, okay? This is what we got it with, so I suggest you use the information and the equipment that we provide you, all right? Now, once that happens, hey man, you awake? You look lost as shit, all right? So, at this time, the grader's gonna make you pick up the binos and actually look at your target. So if I can get a small little alleyway, if you guys look, my target will be the 3 red soldiers with the red sandbags in front of them, okay? Now, remember, if you can memorize this stuff and memorize it through your radio, okay, go ahead and memorize it. If not, just look at it, identify your target, all right? I'm gonna see that they're 3 soldiers, that they're carrying small arms, that they're in a defensive position, and that their height in mils is 5 mils, okay? But again, if you guys can't memorize it, just look at it. Once you say, yes, I identify my target, the grader will tell you to put your binos down. Once you do that, then you'll have 5 minutes to put your radio into operation. He's gonna show you zeros on the clock, and he's gonna tell you, you have 5 minutes to put your radio into operation and conduct a proper radio check using proper phonetics. You understand what you must do? You will say yes, and the time begins when you touch your equipment, all right? So we'll get to the radio. Any questions up to this portion? Nope, we'll get to the radio, boom. All right, go ahead and connect that, put the battery cap on. Go ahead and lock it to where it locks into place. All right, give it a little college boy try so it doesn't fall off, so you know it's good. Go ahead and turn it on while it's conducting its bit test. Go ahead and connect the antenna. All right, once you do that, screw it down to where we get it flush and there's no thread showing. Then, all right, I understand the hand mic can go on either port, but you can only fill this radio using one of the port, and that is the top one, the audio fill port, okay? So I'm gonna connect my hand mic to the bottom portion, which is the audio data portion. All right, once I connect my hand mic, you'll hear the annoying beep from the radio, okay? Once you do that, now remember, to program the radio, I've done all of assembly, now I need to program it. To program this radio, you only need to do one thing, and I'll walk you through that one step. But if you're slow like me and you rode a short bus, okay, you can push the volume to 9 so you can hear this annoying beep, okay? Now that is not on the steps, but if you do that for yourself to give you kind of an extra indicator, all right, that is on your clock time, not our clock time, okay? Remember that, this is your clock time, not ours. So the only step that you have to do is 1, you're gonna push the menu clear button 4 times till you get to the mode setting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, I'll be on mode. It'll say frequency hop. I'm gonna push the 7 change button 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, it's gonna say SC. When it says SC right there, I know I'm in the right thing because this is a single channel ciphertext mode. All right, so I'm gonna look over here for my signal operation instruction sheet, and I'm gonna get my frequency. My frequency will be written. It says 31000, so this is what I'll do. I'll hit frequency, clear, okay, and enter the frequency, 31000, and then the stow button. Once I've done that, I've done all of the programming. So now I need to load the fill into the radio. So to do that, I'm gonna take the SKL. Now remember, I would connect it at this time, okay, so I'm good. But for instructional purposes only, I'm gonna keep it off so I can show you guys what steps you do. All right, so I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna tap the screen to where it's gonna brighten up. All right, once it brightens up like this, I'm gonna go over to the EQS tab, which should be the 2nd tab, okay? And when I push it, it's gonna say ASEP on it. When it says ASEP on it, right, I'm gonna go ahead and push the square with the plus sign on it and expand that tab down until it shows me C1 through C6, okay? Just like the way it is now, C1 through C6. Then I'm gonna look over here on my signal operation instruction sheet where it tells me what ComSec I'm gonna load. This says ComSec C1, so I'm gonna highlight C1. Boom. I'm gonna highlight C1 the way ASEP was highlighted, all right? So everybody can see. Once I do that, oh man, who ripped ass? That's bad. Good God. All right, so you're gonna push the load button, all right? Load button is in the top right corner. When you do that, it's gonna come up with icon transfer. When it comes up with icon transfer, I'm gonna go ahead and push the OK button when I push the OK button, it's going to ask for the ECU wizard. And when it asks for the ECU wizard, I'm going to push the next, and then I'm going to push the send button. Again, ECU wizard, I push next, and then I push send. So it'll look like this: next, and then send. Okay, so I already put next, so here we go. I push send. Once I push send, it's going to tell me right now, it's going to tell me to push the load button on the radio. Again, it'll push the load button on the radio. So on the radio, I'm going to push the 0 load button. Okay, it's going to tell me, prompt me to push stow and 1 on the SKL. So I will push stow, and then I will push 1. All right, you know you've done it correctly when the annoying beep goes away. All right, guys, when the annoying beep goes away, you're good to go. So I don't need to do anything else. I don't need to take this back to the original settings. I just disconnect the SKL. All right, and then now I'm good to talk. So to talk, what I need to do is step one, turn it to the on position. Once I turn it to the on position, I'm gonna look over here at the signal operation instruction sheet and get my frequency, or my call sign, which is Hotel 1, and I will be calling Golf 7. So I will conduct a radio check like this. Golf 7, this is Hotel 1, radio check over. Okay, I will get a yes loaded, and then he'll give me a thumbs up at the same time. At this time, you would stop your clock. When you stop your clock, all right, that is all we have for the radio. Are there any questions on the radio at this time? No? Okay, go ahead and lay it flat. You'll slide it over out of your way, and understand that. Remember, your clock time is stopped, all right? So when you start your spot report, the grader will go ahead and disassemble the radio. Remember, you have nothing else to do with the radio after you've done that. Now, he's going to show me the clock. He's going to tell me I have from now, whatever time you have on there, to the 15-minute mark to send a proper spot report with no phonetic deficiencies. Do you understand what you must do? You will say yes, and time will begin when you touch your equipment. All right, so at this time, you will then, as soon as you touch your equipment, time will clock. He's going to start my clock over again, or not over, he's going to start my clock, all right? And now I'm going to go through my spot report. First thing we want to do is that acronym. Acronym is do you salute, SALUTEANA. All right, so you don't have to write that, but we suggest that you do it because that'll help you out when you actually go to call it and you remember each one of the lines. Line number 2, or next thing is number each one of the lines. That's what we recommend. You don't have to do that. Again, that's on you. 1. All right, and again, go ahead and tick mark, dash, or whatever will let you know what you need to say phonetically. So I take back my tree 4, 5, 5s, 9ers, 1 zeros, and 1 1s. Okay, now I'm going to go through my spot report. Line number 1, date time group. So I'm going to enter the date time group. It is the 23rd, so I put 23 for the date. My time is 15:15. All right, and the month is June, and the year is 20. All right. Line number 2 is the unit. Okay. Unit and method of observation. Remember, line 2 always has 2 parts. My unit is 2508 / method of observation. Okay, is binos. The grader's going to make you look through them, so you have to put it on here. Binos. Okay. Line number 3 is the size of the enemy. Remember, if I need to, I can pick this back up and re-look through it because it's on my table. But I already remember it from off my clock time when I looked through it the first time, so I have 3 packs. 3 packs, okay? All right, and line number 4, okay? Activity. What are they doing right there, okay? They look like they're in a defensive position or a blocking position, so I'm gonna go ahead and say blocking position. All right, line number 5, all right, is the enemy's location or their grid. So first thing I'm gonna do is pull out my handy dandy map, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna look on my signal operation instruction sheet where my grid is, and I'm gonna go ahead and plot myself. I'm in the 22, 27, so I go over to the 22, I go up to the 27, 5's in the middle, 3's a little more than quarter way up, boom, I'm right there. But if you need help plotting, we provide you with 2 protractors, okay? So you plot your grid. Once you plot your grid, you need to get an azimuth. Now, again, if you guys look over there on my actual testing stations, there is a 4x4 plank where your compass will be tied to. Get it off of your compass. So it'll look like this. Or get it off your 4x4. You'll get it like here. it'll be sitting on that 4x4. You get behind it, you put it in the compass to cheek method, go ahead and line it up perfectly, all right, and then shoot your azimuth based off of that. Now, you can use mils, but a lot of us ain't good at mathing in public, so I don't suggest using mils unless you're really good at math. If not, it's a lot less math that you have to do if you do degrees, all right? So I shoot it. I got a 220, excuse me real quick, 220 degree. All right, so, but that is a magnetic. Can I put a magnet on my map? No, I need to convert it. So I got a 220, now I need to convert it. So I look over on the back. On actual test day, you're not gonna have these nice little pretty arrows that tell you what you need to do, so just remember, I need to convert. So, it says my GM angle is 5.9, and to convert magnetic to grid, I subtract. So, go ahead, I do a 5.9, which rounds up to 6. I subtract that 6, okay, and it puts me at a 214. Now that is a grid, so now we can go ahead and plot that. So, take my handy dandy protractor, make sure it's orientated correctly. I put it on my location, make sure it's straight. All right, and I take my straight edge and I put it behind my little protractor and line it up. Okay, put it on my location, go to 214. All right, boom, I slide this off. All right, I start from my location and go in the 214 degree azimuth direction. Once I do that, I know my enemy is somewhere along this azimuth. Now I need to get the distance. So to get the distance, I'm gonna look over here at my target size, which is given to me on my single operation instruction sheet. I'm not looking at tanks, I'm looking at personnel. Personnel are 70 inches. So I take 70 times 25.4, which is my constant, which will never change, divided by the height in mils. And remember, if I need to, I can re-pick it up and re-measure them out, but I also remember it from when I first did it off the clock. So I get 5, I put equal, okay, and I figure out this answer. Now, I don't have an actual calculator over here, but if you guys look over there on actual test days, and if you look at my test stations over there, they each have a calculator, okay? So, you put the formula into your calculator, and you get your answer. Here, my answer is a 355.6, okay? So, I know I need to go 355 meters along this azimuth to get my enemy. So, take my handy dandy protractor. I know each one of these ticks is 100 meters, so I go ahead and put X marks the spot on my location where my 2 zeros are, and I go down 350. I can't do 355, so I get as close as I can, which is 350, and I put an X marks the spot for my enemy location. All right, now I have the enemy's location, so I need to translate that onto my spot report. So I go over, it's the 2-2. I'm in the 2-2 block, I go up, I'm not in the 2-7 anymore, I'm in the 2-6 this time. So I put 2-6, take my handy dandy protractor, go ahead and line it up. All right, I got 3095, so 3095. Hey, remember when you guys have this, you can give us an 8-digit, but all we're gonna grade you on is a 6. We will listen to an 8, but we will only grade you on 6, okay? So whatever works best for you, you can give us a 6 or an 8, all right? So, I have my grid right now, but my grid's not complete. I need my grid zone identifier and my square identifier. So, I'll flip over my map, look on my little chart right here. What it tells me, grid zone identifier, right, is divided by the 32 degree line. Everything north of it is 17 Sierra, and everything south is 17 Romeo. So here's where I'm at, 32 degree line. I am south of it, so it must be 17 Romeo. So, I'm gonna start off with 17 Romeo. Next, it says my entire square identifier, this entire map is Mike Romeo, so that makes life easier, Mike Romeo. All right, now I have the exact grid to where my enemy is. So let's go ahead and continue with our spot report. Line number 6, okay, unit type. I look down there, the Green Army men, they look like they're a conventional force, okay? So I'm gonna put conventional. Line number 7 is the date time group that I observed the target. Well, I'm still technically observing it, but to make life easier, I already have date time group on line 1. I'm just gonna go ahead and copy that same one down. Or just draw an arrow to line number 7 to let you know that you just gotta repeat that for line number 7. Line number 8, equipment, okay? I look back down there if I need to, but I also remember that there was no mortars, no machine guns. There was only 3 guys with, looks like small arms. So, I'm gonna put tree, small arms. Line number 9er. Line number 9er. Assessment. What are they doing? Well, I put kind of a tactical task on line Fowler, so I'm just going to go ahead and copy that down on line number 9er. Okay, for my assessment. Line number 10 is narrative. What am I going to do about it? Well, I know battalion's probably not going to support me with a call for fire mission, so I'm probably going to continue to observe. But I could want to, if I needed to, call for fire on them. So, call or continue to observe, right? And line number 11, authentication. Who took this report? Well, that's me. I took this report. So, I put my initials, Kilo Golf, all right? And because I'm a little slow, I like to put over at the end of it because I, for some reason, always forget to say over at the end of all my radio transmissions. So now I need to say this, okay? All right. So it'll sound something like this. Golf 7, this is Hotel 1, prepare to copy spot report. Roger, send it. Line 1, 2, tree 1, 5, 1, 5, June 2, 0. Line 2, 2, 5, 0, 8, binos. Line tree packs. Line Fowler, blocking position. Line 5, 1, 7, Romeo, Mike, Romeo, 2, 2, 3, 0, 2, 6, 9, oh shit, correction. Line 5, 1, 7, Romeo, Mike, Romeo, 2, 2, tree, 0, 2, 6, 9er, 5. Line 6, conventional. Line 7, 2, tree, 1, 5, 1, 5, June 2, 0. Line 8, tree, small arms. Line 9er, blocking position. Line 10, continue to observe. Line 11, Kilo Golf. At this time, are there any questions on how to properly do the spot report?